Good morning, everyone. Can you hear us? If you can hear us, please raise your hand. Let me know that you can hear us. Welcome to Working Together Friday. My name is Twanda Hill. I am one of the authorized local experts in Constant Contact. Pam and Lynn, why don't you introduce yourself? I see a hand up saying yes, they can hear. Catherine, thank you. Julie, good morning. Can you hear? Nani, can you hear? Sarah, raise your hands. While they're raising their hands, Pam and Lynn, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Good morning. This is Pam, and glad to be here. And hope you're feeling good after a big St. Patty's Day celebration.
And hi there, I'm Lynn Ruby. It's good to have everybody here. And I see people raising their hands. In order to raise your hand, you just click that little button with the hand on it that says all to let us know that you can hear us or not. And I see Corey joined us as well. So I'm Lynn Ruby. I'm the Constant Contact Authorized Local Expert in the Phoenix area on the east side. And good to have you here this morning.
Great. Wonderful. We're going to get started this morning because we do have quite a few questions that we want to get answered. A lot of times, some of you may want to know, what is WTF? How did we come up with this name? And we came up with this name because we wanted to work together on Fridays. So it's once a month. There's a free webinar, and it's generally going to be the third Friday of each month at 9 a.m. Arizona time. And that gives you guys an opportunity to ask questions, get your questions answered. The workshop and webinar is set up for constant contact trialers, newbies, and even some of the older clients that just have questions. Why we want to help support you. We want you to be effective using Constant Contact and for your email marketing. So we want to keep you up to date. We know a lot of times you have specific questions, and you can also learn from other questions. So we do answer the questions on a first come, first answered basis. And we did get a few questions this morning, so we're going to move as quickly as possible and hope we can get to the ones this morning. And if we don't get to you by chance, please note that you can always sidebar with either of us throughout the week so we can get your questions answered.
Absolutely.
All right, so we told you who we are. We are all our own individual business owners, and I'm Twanda Hill, and so I am basically in the West Valley. I do event planning, graphic design, digital marketing, and so I live part-time Phoenix, part-time Phoenix, part-time Seattle. Get it straight. And I'm here to help get you guys moving. We all offer workshops throughout the region, so hopefully, besides the webinar, we'll see you at some of our live workshops. Lynn? She's with East Valley. She's Ruby Marketing Systems. Lynn, share a little bit more about your business very quickly.
Sure. And first of all, I wanted to make sure if everybody could tell us if you're seeing the slides okay. I'm just concerned you might not be. You should be seeing a slide with a white background, and it's got all three of our pictures on it that says we're in Arizona. So just tell us real quick if you can see that or not in the chat box. So my name is Lynn Ruby. I'm on the kind of the east side of the Phoenix area in Arizona, and I work with people, small businesses, to help them understand marketing, whether it's email marketing, social media marketing, video marketing, and how all of those things work together so we can make it easier on you, because I know it can be overwhelming sometimes.
And Pam.
Good morning. This is Pam Furlong. I'm in the Tucson, Arizona area, and my specialty is printing, email marketing, and promotional items. Love to work with you and do a lot of remote training, and good morning.
All right. So we have a couple email tips I wanted to share. A lot of people say, what is Constant Contact and what's the advantage of using Constant Contact? On the left of your screen, you see a regular email, and this is whether you're sending out something in Yahoo or you're sending it out in Outlook or Gmail. This is a regular email. To the right, this is what a Constant Contact email looks like, and as you can see, it's branded with your company information. It's very visually pretty to read, and the call to action is very clear and evident. So that's really the major difference using the email marketing toolkit with Constant Contact. And then another tip I wanted to remind people who may be fairly new to Constant Contact, but it's the social share bar. We know that emails that have this share bar receive 158% increase in click-through rates. And so the social bar is right here on your screen in your email, and you can find it in the header options. You really want to have that share bar clicked. If you're sending out an email that I want people to share on with their other people in their social sphere, I want to make it easy for them. So if I receive a great email from you advertising your information and I want to share it with my Facebook friends, with one click, I can send it and connect that to my Facebook friends, but it's also still formatted correctly. So please use your social share bar. Ask people to like, share, or retweet or pin your information. And it lists Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and there's a red plus. If you click on that, that allows you to click with the other social media platforms that are not the top 3. And like I said, you can find it right in your header options. So when you're writing your header subject line, who it's from, right here it says social share links, and you want to click on that. And that is where it shows up. So remember in your header options to click on that social share link. One other tip I wanted to remind people is also to forward to a friend. You can actually add this feature into your email so that people can forward it to a friend, and they can forward it very, very easily. So click on the forward to a friend. You have to be inside a dialog box. You click the insert, and it brings up that opportunity to insert it. And here's an example of it in an event that was a concert. Yes, I'm doing a concert, so of course I want people to share this information with a friend. We're going to turn now to your questions. And I just want to make sure that everyone is on point. Working through, stay tuned. We'll be with you shortly. Okay, I'm just checking to make sure there were no questions for what we talked about. So one of the questions that was sent from Linda was, how do we link donation buttons to, okay, I think I've hit the screen incorrectly. How do we link donation buttons? Sorry, technical difficulties here. There we go. How do we link donation buttons to my email blast? And there's a couple of different ways. So I wasn't sure exactly which one she wanted. So you can insert a PayPal link, and that is a place where you can actually get people to pay. So that's one simple way you can do that. And as you can see, you can insert it as a PayPal link. You can insert a button. You can make the buttons, the name on the button say donation. And here's right here the hyperlink for that. But you have to be inside of your email for that to show up as an option, and you need to know the URL for the donation. So you're creating a hyperlink button, you're inserting a button, and then lastly, if you just wanted to make Donate Now a clickable link, it's just the same as if you're using creating a text link. So those are a couple different ways you can use the Donate Now button and insert it. With the text link, once you click on the text and you have register, then you link it right here to that donation URL, and once you insert it into your email, when people click on that, that will take them to your space that says Donate Now. This one here, I created actually an image button that says Donate Now, and I made the image a clickable link. And to do that, when you insert your image into your content, what you want to do is you're going to make it a clickable link. And right down here, and every time you insert an image, you should make it a clickable link. And that will allow the Donate Now to work for your campaign. So Now, how do I schedule, post, and repurpose my email? That's question number 2, and that's from Julia. And so, Pam, you want to go ahead and answer those questions?
Absolutely. Are you going to turn the screen over to me so I can...
You got it.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to take you to a Constant Contact account. So are you seeing my screen right now?
Let's see. Screen sharing. So, because Pam, let's see, I can tell you. It says waiting to view Pam's screen.
Okay, let me go check back there.
Pam, you had 2 logins, so did I change it over to the correct login?
Yeah, I think you might not have.
Okay.
No, you did not. Get the other Pam, the real Pam.
How's that?
Yeah, perfect. Let's see here. Perfect, perfect. Let me take you to my screen. Okay, are you seeing my screen now? Looks like you're seeing my screen.
I'm seeing your screen.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is if you wanted to, you've built an email, you've sent it out, and you also want to share it, repurpose it, and share it on your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn. So what you would do is you would click here. You know what? I'm talking about this. Let me click on that. And you're going to open up one of your campaigns and scroll down to the bottom. There we go. Right there where you see Schedule Post, you're going to click on Schedule Post. Now, if this is the first time you've ever done this, you're going to need to set up your social media accounts. So you're going to click on a button in the upper right, and once it resolves, I'll show you where that is. But it's going to say Social Accounts. Options, Social Accounts. Okay, under Options, you would go under Social Accounts right here, the drop down, and you're going to choose which ones you'd like to link to. So right now I'm linked to Facebook and LinkedIn, and I'm not linked to my Twitter, and there's a reason that I'm not. It's because in Hootsuite I've got all my Facebooks automatically posting to my LinkedIn. But this will just show you how you go about doing that, and just walk through the wizard and set it up. Okay, I'm going to minimize that. Now, if you notice on the left, let me go and show you one other thing under Options. There is Default Schedule. So you can choose, do you want to just post it 1 time, 3 times, or you can use a custom number. And that's in this section right here. Let me minimize that again. And we're going to go back to the calendar. Now the next thing is, if you notice here, it defaults and it sets up 3 different dates. In my particular case, I have 3 different posts that are scheduled. And that's fine. Maybe there's one time where I don't want to post all 3 times, so I'm going to remove a post. So this particular post is posting today. Have you checked this out? And I don't want it to go to all my pages, so I'm going to drop this down and uncheck the pages I do not want it to go to. What are you laughing about, girl?
I love the names of your pages.
Oh.
Super.
And there's 2. Super Pambo, yeah, that's a fun one. That's just for fun. Okay, and I'm going to post this email about the next upcoming Working Together Friday. And so you can change the text, customize it. Whoop. If I could only type. And all right, and so right now that particular post is going to go out at 9:21, but I want to change the image. It's not a newsletter, so I'm going to go find the image that I want to use. And I'm going to use this image right here. So you can select, but what's really neat is if I didn't want to use that image, I could click up here and go to my image library in Constant Contact and choose another image. And you can see all I'd have to do is click to insert this one instead. So I'm going to stick with this one. And I only want to post this once, but if you notice it's automating a post to go out on Monday also. I'm going to click here to remove that post. And then I'm also going to remove the Thursday post. And this is real important that you schedule your posts to when are your readers looking at their timeline. So start looking to see when are people looking at your timeline or their timeline, and that's when you're going to show up.
Wonderful. Thank you, Pam.
You bet, you bet.
Moving on to question 3, I'm a beginner with Constant Contact. I did some basic setup stuff back in the fall, but since then I haven't done anything with it. What are my next best steps to get myself back on track and using the program effectively? And that question came from Nani, and I'm going to actually switch over to Lynn. Actually, Lynn, I don't need to switch to you. I just need
You don't?
Oh, yes, I do. Okay, I'm
Yes,
switching
you
to you. Okay, is your screen up?
My screen is
It's
on
up.
its way. There, are you seeing my account now?
Yes.
Great. So Nani and I talked about this question a day or two ago, and Nani's on the call with us today. And first of all, Nani, you are not alone. This is not unusual. Don't feel bad. Don't feel overwhelmed. My basic advice to you is, I'm going to show you some specifics to do, but basically what I want for those of you who are beginners, for those of you who are like, I just don't know what to do first, it seems so a little overwhelming, make it easy on yourself. Don't try to do everything perfect the first time out of the gate. Don't try to do everything. You can forget some things for now as a beginner. The most important thing you can do to get yourself jump-started with Constant Contact, believe it or not, is to hit the send button. Send out an email, even if it's only to 5 people. So, and one of those might be mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, right? That's okay. That's how you get started. That's how you get comfortable with the program and get used to it. Let me show you very quickly a little campaign that I just threw up. That's nice. I just threw up this morning that gives you an idea of what you might want to do just for your first campaign, your first email. It's not even a campaign yet. Your first email that you send out to 3 or 4 or 5 people, okay? And I'm going to be very unhappy if it disappeared. Here it is. Okay. So 3 in your email that you're going to send out for the first time to just 5 people. Make it very easy on yourself and make it 3 things, okay? Here's an email that I just put up to demonstrate that. This is actually a fun client of mine, Mrs. Arizona International. So the 3 things that I want you to do are, first of all, use a very, very basic template. Use the very first template in the template folders, in the template files. Don't worry about anything fancier than that. Then make sure that you insert your logo at the top here. That's just inserting a picture, right? You can call Constant Contact and they will walk you through how to do that. It's very simple. Put your logo in there in this top block. Here, I want you to put some very simple text, 1 picture to the right that demonstrates what it is that you do or what it is that you have to offer or your offer your products, and then a call to action. Some type of button that says visit our website or call me for more information or visit our our Facebook page and like us there, and then put your name, company name, email, address, and so forth at the bottom. Here, you know what? Your first time out of the gate, don't worry about social media and connecting it because we want you to hit the send button. So 3 steps: your logo, information with a picture, and a call to action, and then make sure you have your regular contact company information at the bottom here. Make it very simple on yourself. Once you get that set up, here's what I would recommend you do. Set it up as best you can, and then give Constant Contact a call or give one of us a call and say, hey, can you look at this and tell me, does it look okay? Am I all right for sending this out? I just want to do the basics. And they'll look at it and say, oh, you might change this here a little bit, you might change that, but overall you're okay, right? So then hit continue and send now, okay, to the 5 people on your email list. And that's honestly, it sounds silly, but it is the best way to get started when you're a beginner and you're not quite sure how this works, you're not quite comfortable with it yet. Send it to those 5 people that you trust. Make it easy on yourself with just a 3 basic category email, and then talk to the people that you send it to and say, hey, did you get it? What did it look like? Look at it on their computer. Then you can feel good about what you did and you got started with Constant Contact, and the next time you want to hit the send button, it'll be a whole lot easier for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lynn. I'm going to take the screen back and we're going to continue with our questions. Okay, so we're back to my screen. Wonderful. I can see that the audience can see the question. Celeste asks, how do I know which is the best day to send my email? And that's a question that really can be industry specific. There are some standards based on Constant Contact's research with their many customers that if you're a restaurateur, they suggest Mondays at 7 a.m. If you're a hotel or bed and breakfast, Wednesday at 7. And then arts and crafts, Friday at 5 a.m. But that's by their testing. You can also do a simple A/B testing for yourself so you know which date and times work best for you. So what I suggest you do is take your list and divide it into 2 groups. Once you do that, select 2 days in the week that you want to send that same email to your audience. And watch and see which date has the best open rate. Then once you've done that, you're going to use that same 2 lists that you created, and the next time you send out an email, you're going to select the day that had the best open rate, and you're going to select 2 times on that day and send out your new email on that Wednesday, say at 10 o'clock and maybe at 4 o'clock, and see which gives you the best open rate. And by that, you can that's just a simple A/B testing for determining within your clientele what will work. You'll also notice when you go to send your emails now out of Constant Contact, you have an option to send now, schedule later, and then there's another button that tells you when Constant Contact suggests that you send it. And that's based on your your examples and based on your history within your organization. So if you have time, I'm one of those unlucky ones who usually when I do an email and I get it completed, I need to send it out pretty quickly. So waiting till Saturdays at 2 doesn't work. But that's a goal for me to work towards getting my emails completed earlier so that I can actually try out the times that they suggest based on the information they've aggregated. So now we have question number 5. How do I add a constant contact sign up page to my Facebook page? And Pam, take it away.
Hi, I'm back. So some of you, you're going to go to your contact button, and some of you, that will be on the left-hand side, and some of it will be in the upper right corner of your screen. It depends on which version of Constant Contact you're in. Once you get into Contacts, you're going to go to the upper left corner, and there's Sign Up Tools, and click on that link. Once you click on that link, then you're going to go to on the right-hand side. I know I'm driving you all over the page, but on the right-hand side, thank you. I don't know who's running that arrow, but thank you very much. On the right-hand side, there's a Facebook sign-up form, and you're going to click on that. We could go to the next slide. That would be fantastic. Once you click on that, this window is going to pop up, and in the lower left-hand corner, you're going to click on Add App. Next screen, please. And this is the point where you say, I want to add this tab, this page tab, to my Facebook. Which page do I want to add? So, you know, in my case, I have many pages. So you're going to pick a page to add the tab to. Once you click on Add Tab, it will add it to that. Next page, please. Okay, and then it says one more step. That's not quite true. Oops. You're going to click on Login, and that is going to connect you to your Constant Contact, and you're going to log in with Constant Contact, and then it's going to ask you if you'll allow them to communicate together, and yes, you want to say allow. The next thing is you have an opportunity to customize the form. You can actually edit the text in some of the fields. You can add your logo, and then you will need to pick which list you want. If somebody signs up, which list you want them to be added to in your Constant Contact. Or on page 2, this is preview page 1. There is actually a page 2, and on there you can pick from, I want them to be able to choose which lists they want to be on. So let me give you an example. If it was a pet store and there were cats, dogs, and fish, and you only wanted to know about cats and dogs, then you could click those 2 lists to be on. So that's an option. You can either send them to one list or you can give them the option to sign up for many. Twanda, if you would give me screen control real quick, I'm going to just take them to my Facebook page real quick and show you one other little thing here. Let me get on my... If you notice, there's a More button down here. Now, join my list.
Do you have the control, Pam?
Oh, I don't think I do. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. Are you seeing my screen now? Oh, you know what? I think you got the wrong Pam again.
I've done both. So here we go again.
Okay. Let me try it again. Okay, there we go. If you notice there on this line of tabs, it says join my mailing list or join my list. That tab, whoops. Sorry about that. That tab will not automatically appear about. In order to get it to show up there, you're going to need to go to More, Manage Tabs, and you can slide that. It will usually be right here, and you need to slide it up and under About for it to show up on that main page. That's it. Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to take the screen back. And I am going to go back to our next question. Lynn? Lynn
Yes,
has a couple
yes, ma'am.
of pro tips that you wanted to share with the group about images and contacts.
Yes, I do. You want to give me screen control?
I sure do. There we go. You have it? There we go. I see you.
Yes. Okay, fantastic. So I wanted to share with you 2 quick tips. One around images, which is very, very easy, but it's just something that will help you as you're dealing with images. So what I want to show you is, I'm going to go into an email here. We'll just look at that same one that we were working on earlier. And when I go in, let's say I want to edit this particular picture, okay? And you click here, obviously, and you select Change. When I am in this editor, have you ever wondered, you see this little arrow right here? Have you ever wondered what the heck that thing is? I never knew what it was and what it was there for, but that is an indication, if you were to scroll to this point, that's the indication of the original size of the picture that you uploaded here. So that can help you as you're resizing your image to know, okay, where did I start out at, okay? And so whether you need to go smaller or larger, you'll know if you're going larger, it might be a problem because it might become a little too pixelated to show appropriately in your image, in your email. But that just gives you a general gauge as to this is where I started from, and I need to either go smaller or larger. So I just wanted to share that with you as a helpful hint for when you're in your image editor and resizing your images so that you'll have a gauge as to where you started from and where you need to resize the image from that point. Okay? So that's just to let you know what that's all about, because honestly, I just discovered that 2 days ago. You'd think I would know that, but there's so much in this program that there's always something new to learn. So that's the little tip I have for you around images. The second tip I have for you concerns contacts. So we're going to go into our contact section of Constant Contact. And this came about because last month we had a question from Linda that we couldn't talk to Linda directly, and it was kind of a complicated question, and we couldn't quite answer it for her. So her and I worked together one-on-one afterwards, and we discovered some very cool data that you can get from your list that was very helpful for Linda. So what I want to show you here is when you have an email list, this is an email list, it's my active contact list in this particular database, in this particular account. I am going to export this list because I want to look at a lot of data around these particular contacts. So in order to export a list, all you do is click up here, and that will select every name in that list, okay? Click Export, and the program is going to ask you, okay, what fields exactly do you want to export? We don't want to export all of them, we need 3 of them. So this is where you can then select which fields you want to export into an Excel spreadsheet or into a CVS file. And here's what I want to show you. These are self-explanatory, right? Company, phone number, email, etc. What I want to show you here is the information under Advanced Information. You will see it like this, first of all. So what you need to do is click this little arrow in order to see the additional information that's available under Advanced. And you can export out the source name, what date this particular record was created, and what date it was updated. So this is actually what I have already exported for you. And you click Export Contacts, and you will, I'll do that for you. And then you will see right up here where you can download it as a CSV or as an Excel. So I've already downloaded this. I want to show you what we got here. This is that same list. Oh, can you see this Excel spreadsheet, Twanda?
No, you have to
No.
the show application, switch over to your Excel sheet.
Gotcha. There we go. You see it now?
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
There we go.
So this is that list that I downloaded of 13 names. You see here's the first name, last name, etc. Here's what was interesting to us is that these names were created on this particular date, so December, October, etc. And then they were updated on this date, which is today. I went in and updated most of them. But this is just to show you if you need to know, oh, did something change about somebody's email address lately since they've been added to my list? Or did they get added to a new list? Or did they delete themselves? Or whatever. So that this was what was important to Linda last month, that we discovered that you can download this list of when a name on your list was first created, first put in there, and then when it was last updated. Other things you can see here are what email lists are they on, right? Mm-hmm. And were they added by you, or were they added by themselves through a sign-up form? So this is just a way to show you all of the different information you can get out of your list when and if you need it at some point in the future. So those are my 2 pro tips for you today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm looking in the question box right now, and there are a few questions, but I think they're still in line with some of the questions that came in this morning. So I'm going to change back to my screen, and we are going to go back to this, show my screen, and from current slide. So Lynn just finished answering those pro tips. What is going on? Okay, so there's the slide. Okay, everyone should be seeing the question screen. So we have a few more questions that we're going to just answer live. How are we on time? 9:36, so we have 10 minutes. So Sarah wanted to know, with Constant Contact, how could they offer us, inquiring about what Constant Contact can offer us for new publishing business. And whether you're a new publishing business or a new business or just a business getting started on your marketing, Constant Contact, one of the advantages is that we're in the network, we're in the business of building relationships with our clients. So having Constant Contact allows you to send out regularly scheduled branded emails that can have offers, information, updates about what's happening in your business. So you're really building that connection and building that relationship. And that's really where what's going to drive your revenue to increase, is because once people get to know you, they tend to like to buy from businesses that they are comfortable with. So Lynn, Pam, do you want to add anything else to that?
You know, I think Constant Contact is perfectly named because Constant Contact, you're staying in touch. So you want to at least stay in touch with your customers once a month. So I've heard a stat that for every month you don't stay in touch, you lose 10% influence. So just think about it. In 10 months, somebody could forget you.
That's great. Lynn, I'll come to you for the next one. So Julie, unless you had something you wanted to share?
I'm good. Pam said it perfectly.
Perfect. Julie, how do you distinguish between implied and express consent in the program? Well, one of the things is that when you're uploading your contacts, you should have permission from the people that you're uploading them. One of the things I like to share is that just because you meet me at a networking event and we exchange business cards doesn't mean that I want you to add me to my list. But it's so simple to say, hey, Twanda, it was great meeting you. I have an e-newsletter that I send out monthly tips. Can I add you to my list? and people will say yes right then. And so you have that consent from them. So as far as I'm a little, and I do push it to the end. If you have already been in business and you've been dealing with clients and dealing with people in your list, I actually, that's okay. The great thing is that every single time you send out an email, people have an option to unsubscribe with one click. And that's the advantage of being with an email marketing service provider, is that they do have that one click unsubscribe. So that will help you eliminate anyone who may not really want to be on your list. Lynn, you want to add to that?
Sure. So getting permission is very, very important, because when you send out emails for which somebody did not subscribe, it just doesn't work anyway. So that's why we call this permission-based email marketing. And permission-based email marketing works. Non-permission-based doesn't work. Implied and express permission, kind of the difference is, Canada actually has much more stringent CAN-SPAM laws than we do here in the United States. They recently upgraded their legislation such that there's even bigger hoops that you have to jump through in Canada. And that's one of the reasons that this feature was added to Constant Contact, mostly for the Canadian market. And here in the US, it's just, I would pay attention to it because it might be coming here. You never know. You know how the spam things work. But implied means, yeah, I'm pretty sure they said that I could add them to my list, and express means they definitely said that I could add them to my list. Right now, here in the U.S., I don't think we have to worry too much as long as you have some type of permission from people, whether it was verbal or they're already an existing client or they've actually signed up from your list. It might be something that in the U.S. we have to watch out for in the future.
Wonderful.
You know, how I see implied is if they're my customer, then I have an implied relationship with them, and they always can opt out, and I want that to be very available to them. If they don't want my email, I don't want them getting it. I don't want to bug them. Mm-hmm. So that's where I kind of see implied is that if they're my customer, I have an implied relationship. Now, that doesn't mean I have an implied relationship with everybody else, but customers are a little different.
That's true. And when I actually set up my events in EventSpot and Constant Contact, there's actually a button that allows you to, people can click as they're signing up that says, yes, I want to join their list. So a lot of times, and the thing is you have to remember is people do want to hear from you if you have relevant content and information. So you're really going to run into problems if you're sending out irrelevant information. It has no value, no use to them. And so we want to encourage you to continue working with the three of us, because we do a variety of workshops throughout each month that help you grow your list, determine what content is appropriate, giving you tips and tricks for social media time savers and things like that. So you want to definitely be involved with all three or one of us at least, so that you know what's going on with how to help your business grow using Constant Contact. I have one last question here. Can you briefly describe, sorry, Lynn, this was from Bill. He signed up under you. He said, how do you use Constant Contact to grow his business marketing outreach? You want to take a stab at that? Because I think that's a general question.
Yes, and so that was one of those questions, Bill, where I wasn't quite sure what you were asking. And so what I would recommend is that you reach out to me at lynn@lynnruby.com, and you and I can have a one-on-one conversation about that, because I'm not quite sure what your question is. I don't know if Bill's on the call or not. Is he? Oh, yes, I see you, Bill. Yes. Okay. So let's do that, Bill. And because I'm not quite sure what your question means.
Lynn@lynnruby.com. I just typed that in the chat box, so you have it right at your fingertips.
And Twanda, there is a question from Lori that I think is a good one to answer. Do you see that? It's, should you resend an email to those who never opened the email in the first round or not? Great question.
I would. at a few days later. I wouldn't send it that afternoon, but I would change maybe the subject line and maybe the image that they receive and see if maybe that enticed them. Because sometimes it could just be the subject line and it could be the timing. The whole process of getting your emails read is very simple. People decide whether they're going to read your email now, later, or never. And so you want to be in that now category. And when you've sent it out to that first group, it may not have been the appropriate time. So I'm okay with sending it with a different subject line and a different leader image.
So I have some comments on that. Actually, Constant Contact, Twanda's advice is very good, and Constant Contact actually will not allow you to resend the exact same email that to people that you've already sent it to. So if you didn't change the subject line, if you didn't change anything in the email, Constant Contact actually would not allow you to resend it to the same people. So changing up the subject line, changing up the headlines, changing up the pre-header text, changing up the images, great idea. And it takes, you know, we tend to think, oh, I sent it out once, they saw it. If they didn't answer, they didn't open it, they weren't interested. Not necessarily the case. They're busy. It just wasn't the right time. They were in a meeting. They were having a crisis at the moment because they were taking their kid to the doctor, or they weren't dealing with that particular issue at that particular time, and the next day they were. So don't assume that the reason they didn't open it was because they weren't interested. The reason they didn't open it most likely is because they were involved in life like the rest of us are. So don't hesitate to send it again with a new subject line, new message, new image, etc. Good advice.
Wonderful. Gary had a quick question about, can you briefly describe the most successful technique you've deployed for building your contacts? And we're out of time, Gary, so I'm going to ask you to sidebar with one of us. I will actually reach out to you and answer that question because, like I said, we do a whole workshop on building and growing your email list. I wanted to honor people's time, so we answered questions. We do have a special offer that's going on. So you can sign up and get 30% off for the first 3 months. The code is 30March. You can go to my website. You can go to any of our websites. If you're already connected with Lynn or Pam, I strongly encourage you to reach out to them. They can make sure that you get the code that you need to sign up for Constant Contact and receive the discount. Somebody asked, it was Corey, how much is Constant Contact? If you have under 500 people, you can start with a basic email plan for $20 a month. And so that's very affordable. If you want to be able to do the email plus with 500 or less contacts, that's at $45 a month. And that gives you access to the autoresponders and the online surveys and many more tools. We have also, here's our contact information. If you want to know where you can see us live, if you go to blogsconstantcontact.com/events and put in the state of Arizona, you will come up with our information. And as you can see, I have a workshop, an evening one on the 29th of March called Social Media Time Savers in Glendale. Lynn is doing how to increase your email open rates using video. She's on the 5th of April in Phoenix. And then Pam is doing the Social Media Time Savers in Tucson in April. So constantly offering you opportunities for training and education and information. And then last but not least, our next WTF webinar is on Tax Day, April 15th. Pam is going to be the host of that, so please sign up for that at WTFwebinar.com. And I think that's it. We're going to send you you'll get a copy of today's slide deck with the answers, and we hope to see you at a future event. Say goodbye, ladies?
Bye-bye. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you guys so much for attending, and we'll see you next month. Happy weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.